to get a twofer on this channel. A woman's perspective with the full head of lock, as well as a male perspective with top locks, you know. So you're getting a twofer by subscribing to this channel, which you should be doing if you haven't already done, and clicking the notification bell. You're getting a twofer here.
Shout out to the Lock Kings.
It's me, Tanía. Thank you so much for clicking on this video. For those of you who do not know who I am a mental health therapist, a health coach, and a lockhead of almost 5 years. I have my husband here because I wanted to give you guys some insight on a different perspective of someone who has a different lock journey. And today we're going to be answering a few questions about his lock journey. Let's get into these questions. Now, the first question that I have for you, Reggie, is what inspired you? Yeah, what inspired you to start your locks in the first place?
What inspired me pretty much, honestly, as a kid, like I always liked Dragon Ball Z, alright? So used to call my afro Goku Fro. So I always wanted to have spikes, so I was like, how can I do that with my hair? And then as I got older, I've always been a waver. I always had 360 waves, so outside of that, one day I decided, let's just lock my hair up and just grow it out, see what happens.
Okay, so you had, I know when I met you, like you just mentioned, you did have a fro. How long was your fro when you first started or decided to lock your hair?
My fro was, I would say it was probably around 3 inches long.
Okay.
When I first started, and I used a sponge brush to kind of get some type of traction.
Okay, and your texture, I think if I had to, based off what I know, being a loose natural for a few years before locking, I think you have like maybe a 4A/4B texture in between. My hair is a little bit more kinkier than yours, but did the texture of your hair affect how fast your hair locked?
Honestly, I think like the texture of my hair in certain parts of my head helped it to form the way I wanted it to.
Okay.
Like in the middle, like the crown, I typically had like a thicker braid, but towards like the edges, everything, and like towards the back, it was a little bit looser. Right.
Okay. So did that affect how, like, in terms of how your hair locked? Did you find that you had a harder time getting the hair in the middle to lock faster, or did the hair on the sides lock faster because it was?
The hair in the middle locked faster for sure. The hair in the back was a little bit thicker, but it was looser, so it was just a lot at the area. So those locks in the back, typically when they first started, they grew a little bit thicker and they had like more of a core to them.
I should have probably let you do a 360 or show a little bit of your hair before we got to the question. So if you want to do that, you could do that now. Just, you know, give them a little bunch of hair.
Just something like, right now I kind of got it in the bun. Let me take this bun out. So, some of the ones that are in the back, as you see, I've started twisting them up like together. But some of them are thicker, but you know, I do have top locks, so the edge I just got a fresh little trim up, so you can see
change just lightly
how some of them in the back, typically some of them are thinner and some of them are a little bit looser at the root. So I've been, you know, working on some of those. But as you can see, some of them towards the front are thick, and some of them, they're all different lengths because I haven't been combining some of them and learning how to use the crochet needle. But, you know, everything in the back typically was thicker growing initially. Now, everything in the middle is starting to thicken up.
Okay. So, the next question that I have, let me see. How old are your locks?
3 years.
Three years old?
Well, going on 4 technically, but.
No, it's not. Didn't you start your locks in like September 2016?
And she started me out on a 2-strand twist. That's how I happened.
Yeah, like his journey was kind of weird as far as how it started.
Yep.
Because I remember him trying to start his own and then going to a professional, not liking it, like he said. And then all of a sudden, like, I guess we did something and figured it out. And then I just remember the last time he actually, quote unquote, like, did anything in the starting process was in around Labor Day of 16. To be honest with you, I'm not gonna say what I prefer because it's your hair, but I think how his lock sat was the most intriguing to me, like as far as like aesthetically.
Right. And I wanted them to continue that way, but when they started dropping,
Yeah, yeah. And top locks, from what I know, of course, they fall differently than, you know, a head full of locks, because of course you have all of that space. Like right here. Did you show on the back? Yeah, that's what his hair, he has, his top locks don't go up that. Can you see, can you back up some? They don't go up. Like some people's top locks be right here, and some people have just an undercut type of, but his is like kind of like has a good balance. And you know, he still, from what whenever I manage his hair still looks full, you know. I would say even when it's down, unless you all up in his head. But you do have top locks. And what has been your experience having top locks versus if you would have gone the full lock route?
Oh, off gate, like washing my head is like a breeze. I can do my hair in probably like an hour as far as like washing it, like the proper way, the way she showed me, by scratching my scalp, take care of my scalp, and then doing my initial wash. So I'll say like an hour max, and that's with drying. With
drying, so like the actual, like you, so the pre, the wash, and then after. Okay. So I know that's a whole lot better than my process. My process is several hours and it's annoying. But I mean, that's one of the benefits of having half a head of locks. Like you said, it's just,
yes, sir.
I'm envious sometimes, because I just think about how much, especially on my quarterly deep treatment washes, just how easy it is for him to just be in and out. Like, but anyway, that's just what comes with having longer locks.
I'm going by my day.
Exactly. Men honestly don't really like, y'all just don't care when it comes to like, y'all just wash and go. Like basically wash and go. Like y'all might do, from what I don't know, y'all might do a hot oil treatment or conditioning, but when I watch a lot of videos, like as far as guys and their locks, they always talking about shampooing and that's it. I don't never really see guys talking about the other stuff outside of shampooing. Like, you know, people, like women with locks, we always are fussy about whether we use conditioner and stuff like that. Guys just like, I'm gonna wash this junk, I'm going to like retwist it, and I'm on my way. Like y'all are just so much more lower maintenance than, in my opinion, like the mindset than
the last
women.
hot oil treatment I had is when you documented it.
I'm about to do a hot oil treatment on him. I'm about to use Evu to hit his scalp, because that's what I do for mine. On the, I have 2 videos for those of you who have followed my channel within the last couple of months. You probably aren't aware of these, but I'm gonna put them on the screen. He has his own playlist on my channel called My Husband's Top Locks. It gives you, you know, insight into what his hair looks like, you know, the size of his locks and all of that. And we're gonna move on to the next question. How often do you retighten?
Well, most of the time I retighten, probably after like 2 washes I might retighten, just depending on how active I've been. But mainly I'll retighten like maybe once a month or maybe once every other month.
Okay. And when you retighten, how do you go about it? Do you retwist? Do you interlock?
My retighten is basically I palm roll and twist at the root, and I've started using crochet needles a little bit, but that's it.
Okay. In terms of what's going on, I know you just showed us your hair. Like you mentioned that you do manage your hair with crochet needles sometimes.
0.5, 0.7.
Yeah, well, the crochet needle that I showed on my channel when I said in my 2-headed dragon video, when I showed y'all that's a crochet needle he uses to, you know, manipulate his hair. And he's been combining a lot of his locks. He has a lot of thinner locks in his head. I'm sorry, I'm just grabbing your head. I'm sorry. But he has, like, you can see, like, he has a lot of 2-strand twists, like newly combined locks. His hair is some of everywhere, like, and that's not in a bad way. It's very unique. He has a lot of thinner locks though that I was concerned about, and he's been, you know, taking his time combining I guess the locks as he sees fit. And one of them right here is combined. Not sure if you can see.
Some of them are like extremely dope, and some of them I'm still working on.
Like he's combined that, and this is a flatter looking lock, but I mean he don't really care. like
some I rather have like in a spiral DNA style, and then some I rather have cylindrical, like going like side by side. I have 2 that are side by side, which I love them because they almost have like a flat look to them. So I like having the contrast in my head, and I like having some of my locks look like pillars of like a marble, like epic place.
Like
but,
a Greek.
Yeah, yeah.
You be overthinking. And your locks, you're curating your locks.
Yep.
So you are basically implying that you don't care about having uniform locks. So you're crocheting your hair to purposely crocheting your hair to have different vibes as far as how they look. Okay.
All of them are individual to me, so.
Okay. Gotcha. All right. So the next question is, what would you tell someone thinking about starting locks? It's 2020, you know, every year at the beginning people think about starting their locks. A lot of them have already started their locks. What would you tell somebody what would you tell someone thinking about it or having just started their locks?
Having just started locks, be confident in what you're going to do with your hair. One of the main things is think about how the jobs that you have, are they accepting of locks? If they aren't, figure out how you would want to have it uniform to fit in their culture. But at the same time, it's all on what you want. Like I would say the biggest thing is just to be confident in what you're doing with your locks. Do your research, figure out the type of texture that you have, figure out your how your skin is. Is it like dry? Is your scalp like typically oily? So figuring out certain things about your head first before you start, and then after that, make it happen.
Okay, that's good advice, because I think a lot of people do overthink it, but then you still, like you said, want to be considerate of the type of skin, specifically like scalp condition. That's another thing I would strongly recommend. I might make a more thorough video on it. Whenever you are starting your locks, it's important to kind of like do an examination, I guess preliminary, to see if you have like a scalp condition that could be negatively impact your locks. Because I've noticed, because I've done people's hair here and there, I've noticed that people with drier scalps, sometimes they're more prone to build up if they don't go out of their way to take precautions about how they manage their hair, especially when washing their hair. I know for me, I don't really deal with a lot of dandruff, but of course I still go out my way to make sure that my scalp is dandruff and debris free before I actually add water, because that water can, if you already have a lot of debris on your scalp, can gunk your hair up. So I think it's important. I do agree that it's important to know your scalp condition before you start your lock process. How do you feel about being part of a lock couple, like being one half of a lock couple? Does that affect your perception of your locks, or like my locks, or how do you feel about it?
For me, I feel like it's pretty dope. Like we can wash each other's hair, we could do certain things to each other's hair that, you know, you kind of learn as you go and just do research and trial and error. So it's like it's something, a journey that you're on together, and as a married couple you are one. So, you know, having locks together is like a dope thing, and people have a vibe that like the dope couple. So
yeah, and I think that's another thing, like you have someone who understands the journey at least to a certain extent, and they don't judge you, and because they know what goes into the journey. And I'm not saying that if you were with a non-lock person that they would just automatically judge you, but having someone who's also going through it in their own way, it just, you know, in and of itself encourages you to stick to your own journey. So I mean, I like it as well. Like, if you had to say, like, because a lot of people, of course, they feel different about their journey as their locks get older, their lock babies get older, and a lot of people are self-conscious about their journey at first when they're going through the ugly stage. How would you say that you feel about your locks now versus how you felt about them when you first got them?
When I first got them, honestly, I had the same amount of confidence that I have now. I think then there were more people wanting to say like little side remarks when I first started, like, hey, you look like you got a baby oxtail, or like little things like that.
A baby oxtail.
Well, my hair's longer than theirs. But I mean,
now they'll hear you up there glowing up, glowed up on
you
them.
know, something light. But at the end of the day, like that's really it. Compared to now, it's more so with really seeing what the personality of my hair is.
I know.
That's just the biggest thing, is just being confident. It all goes back down to being confident in your hair, because there's gonna be a stage where you might not like it, but at the same time, embrace that.
You gotta keep going.
Right.
I feel like it's realistic to say, like, there are going to be periods when you are in your lock journey that you just don't want to deal with no more. You either want to cut them off or comb them out. But I just say push through, because I mean, at the end of the day, you're going to see the benefits if you stick with it. You know, there's so many reasons why you would quit on the journey. And honestly, it's your prerogative, and what you want to do at the end of the day is your hair. But I would say try to stick it out for a little bit before you just make the final decision that this is not for me, because locks are like plants and you got to be patient with them. And the more patience you put into your journey, like the more effort, and it's not just the physical effort through like the techniques that you use, but the mental too. Like if you're having negative thought processes towards your locks, that's going to manifest in your lock care, how your locks grow out. So adding positive energy, speaking to your, I know for me, I speak positive affirmations to my locks, and I feel like that is one of the main reasons why my locks are as healthy as they are. Even though I'm not saying that my locks are perfect, but I do believe that because of the energy that I give my locks and the care, that is those are the main contributors to the length retention and all the good things about my locks.
Good vibes.
Yeah,
man.
good vibes.
Good vibes. That's really, it all boils down to having a good vibration, and you take care of your hair, it's going to take care of you.
Unless you have anything else you want to add about your locks, we have one.
No, not really. I mean, everything's pretty much been answered. Just like I said, like the biggest thing is just definitely be confident in who you are as a person. Your locks. There are going to be people who are going to say things that might offend you or make you feel away. Let that just fall off, because at the end of the day, it's your hair, it's your vibe, and just be confident in that. I mean, people are going to say stuff anyway, regardless. So just be confident in that, and just don't let it bother you.
I thank my husband for coming up here. Love you. Give me a hug. You don't get makeup on your shirt.
So I can watch it. And you can share bands.
Yes, yeah, he's always stealing my bands. We don't share, he steals my bands. Okay.
No such a thing.
He steals my bands.
No.
But it's okay, because I steal his back. But we are going to close this out. I appreciate you guys if you made it to this point in this video. Hopefully this won't be the last time that Reggie comes up here and formally sits down, because he pops in videos here and there. But I do know that I have some guys following my channel as well, and it just would be helpful to get a twofer on this channel. A woman's perspective with the full head of lock, as well as a male perspective with top locks, so you're getting a twofer by subscribing to this channel, which you should be doing if you haven't already done, and clicking the notification bell. You're getting a twofer here.
Shout out to the Lock Kings out there.
Twofer here. So yeah, do that. And yeah, like, comment, and subscribe, like I said. And until the next, hit the bell too. Bing. Okay, comment, like, all that stuff. And until the next video, bye bye.